Hi there, this is Sarah Duffy with Live back with another short video about seam allowance, but this is more in accurately sewing the designated seam allowance that the pattern offers, and I'm going to tell you why. If you've ever had fit issues that you're like, I know I measured that, I cut out the right size, and it still doesn't fit, you could be due to your seam allowances. So the amount that you are off in a seam allowance can add up really quickly and make your total circumference of a garment incorrect. So I'm going to show you exactly math-wise. I know this is math, but it's really important. So here's a bodice. This is the front, this is the back, this is the side seam. And if I have a 1/2 inch seam allowance that I'm supposed to sew this at, and I only sew it at 3/8 of an inch. I just made this side off by 1/8, this side off by 1/8, and if I did the same to the other side seam, they're each off 1/8 of an inch. That's a 1/2 inch total, and it added up really quickly. A 1/2 inch doesn't seem like a lot, but if you sewed this at a 3/8 inch seam and it's a 5/8 inch seam, you just made this one a 1/4 inch off, a 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. That's a full inch off. And so it can add up really quickly, especially if you have a garment that has princess seams. I had to draw these princess seams in here. You can see, so there's a side seam, a princess seam on the front, and another side seam, and princess seams on the back as well as the side seams. So if you were to sew this at 3/8 of an inch and it was 5/8, I don't actually know the seam allowance off the top of my head. I'm just giving you an example. That means that just the front would be 1 inch off and the back would be 1 inch off. That's 2 full inches that you are off, and it would be too big. And on a sundress like this, you don't really want that gapping going around your bust and under your arm. So it's really important. And if you did the reverse, if it's a 3/8 inch seam and you mistakenly sewed it as a 5/8 inch seam, it's 2 inches smaller. So 2 inches sometimes to some people doesn't seem like a lot. An inch doesn't seem like a lot. But I just challenge you to take your tape measure and put it around you at your normal, circumference. Hold it firm, and then try and make it 1 inch or 2 smaller. That 1 inch or 2 is a big difference. And a lot of sizes, when you go to the sizing on the back, is only 1 inch difference. See this 2 to this 4? That's 1 inch difference between the busts. It's a 34 to a 35. When you get up to the larger size ranges, the gap is a little larger, like 2 inches. But that 2 inches is really, really important. So I just wanted you to know that. And this goes for everything. This goes for your shoulder seams. Your garment's going to get longer or shorter if you use the wrong seam allowance. And other components of your garments won't sew and fit well together. A good one here is this tea house dress by Sew House 7. It has this yoke, which is really awesome. It's just a really fantastic pattern as far as the way it looks, but if you were to get that seam allowance off and then your side seams off, it's just starting to look a little sloppy, not going to fit. The yoke may not even fit in there. It just depends on what the design lines are and the seam allowances that you need. So stick to your seam allowances. They're really important. Draw them on there if you need to with pencil or with some sort of tailor's chalk or something like that. Whatever works best for you. Okay, tune in. We sometimes live stream, and hit a like on this, and please leave a comment underneath the video. Thanks.